بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So we began yesterday the first reading from the Alchemy of Happiness, كيمياء السعادة. And inshallah we'll continue today. We began a little bit of self-knowledge, فصل في معرفة النفس. And we read the verse and we read the hadith, and we said that scholars said that it is not really a hadith, but the content of the text of the hadith as an athar is definitely important to understand, to unpack. من عرف نفسه فقد عرف ربه. He who knows himself knows his Lord. And before that, the verse سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى تبين لهم أنه الحق. We shall show them our signs on the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. Of course, in English we say definitely we use the word signs. But what's beautiful about the Arabic is that the verses of the Quran and the signs in the universe are both ayat. And you have as they say, Al-Kitab Al-Mastur and Al-Kitab Al-Mandur. Al-Kitab Al-Mastur is the Quran, and the Kitab Al-Mandur, the book that you can see, the book of this universe. And we have been lazy, distracted, not even paying attention. One thing is that we don't watch really natural phenomena, sunrise, sunset. We don't see that in general. If you live in a concrete jungle in let's say, for example, in Manhattan, I know that most people, but many people today live in very large cities, and especially when these cities are flat and there are no mountains, the skyscrapers, the high-rise buildings will block sunrise and sunset, at least when you are really on the street level, running to work and running back from work, and you don't see these ayat that this verse is referring to. And when does it become an ayah? When you go beyond the exclamatory wow into subhanallah, tabarakallah, ahsan khaliqeen, you realize that you have these signs in the universe and in the horizons, on the horizons, and within ourselves. And one is invited to know himself. This is very important. And we said yesterday that you move from the shortcomings, from that which is really limited, from your weakness, the very limited power that you have also declines. You begin very weak, and you reach, if you talk about the curve of your power, it could be maybe, let's say, around 20. It could be 18, it could be 16, it could be 22. And at one point you can maintain it for a while, and there has to be some decline, because if you talk about your physical strength, it keeps basically dwindling. And from that you realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is omnipotent. Your intellectual abilities might not be the same as when you are young, and you would realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is omniscient, So you just simply shuttle between the finite and the infinite. And we continue the comment of Imam Al-Ghazali: there is nothing nearer to you than your own self, and if you do not know even that, how can you hope to know your Lord? If you are not looking into it's introspection, it's introspection. It's very important. In the epilogue of the uh, at the end of the 40 fundamentals of religion, الأربعين في أصول الدين, Imam Ghazali says, address yourself, talk to yourself, ask yourself. That leads to introspection. That leads to knowing yourself. If you talk to yourself, but if if one is distracted, deliberately distracts himself, herself, and there is no shortage of distracting forces today in the society. In fact, injustice is a big distraction. Uh, one needs really to بإذن الله عز وجل you concentrate on your let's say, like right now we are trying to read from the Alchemy of Happiness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward Imam Al-Ghazali and all our scholars abundantly. So you try to concentrate, but in the background, your brothers and sisters are suffering from an unbridled carnage, a genocide. So, as I said, even injustice in itself is a distraction. So, for uh, the health of your heart, the health of your um, soul, one needs to. Justice is really very important for all of this. But we return to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala suffices us, all of us. And in fact, we should tend to the injustice that if really uh, if it befalls any society on earth, Muslim or non-Muslim, we should basically have a stand, a very clear moral stand, exactly like all those who are standing with us at this moment. So exactly, Imam Al-Ghazali's question is valid. How can you hope to know your Lord if you do not know yourself? You may claim to know yourself, though you know only the outer body, the hands, the feet, the head, the torso. In fact, as a baby, you don't know that all these things are yours. It takes time, and that's a fact. You don't know. You touch, as a baby, you touch your feet, and you don't know that it's part of you. You think it's an external thing. That's what even Rene Descartes would say, that duality. Yet you know nothing of what is inside you, what it is that makes you feel anger, arousal, hunger, or thirst, and makes you seek to satisfy these things, which you have in common with the animals. In the Arabic text, uh, these the anger, the arousal, the hunger, the thirst Uh, each one of them comes in a phrase, in a sentence, in fact, not listed, one after the other in the fashion it is translated, which is a beautiful translation, but still we miss the sentence, because anger, what is that makes you feel anger? Uh, what makes you become angry, and how do you satisfy that? طلبت الخصومة. إذا غضبت طلبت الخصومة. So you become anger, and you now you seek adversity, and if you are aroused with اشتهيت, you would seek marriage. In fact, النكاح, you need to fulfill this lust. And if you are hungry, you would seek food, and if you are thirsty, you would seek drink. I'm trying to capture the Arabic text. Which you have in common with the animals. So again, so you satisfy these feelings, these natural, biological or psychological. Hunger is arousal, hunger and thirst are biological. Okay. Anger, we might say, psychosocial, and makes you feel satisfied these feelings which you have in common with the animals. You must come to truly know yourself, so that you know what you are. How you got here, for what purpose you were created, and wherein lies your eternal happiness or misery. There is a painting and I think the questions were originally in French, and the painting is by Paul Gauguin, who I saw the painting in at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, like 30 years ago. But the painting does ask, as I said, because he stated in Tahiti, a long story of Paul Gauguin himself. This is literally, it was he created this artwork in 1897, the same year, ironically, when the first Zionist Congress took place in Basel, Switzerland. And since then we are in Palestine, we suffer. But at any rate, so this painting had the questions: where did we come from? what are we, where are we going. As I said, they were originally in French. So you need to know who you are, what you are, how you got here, for what purpose you were created. And then wherein lies your eternal happiness or misery. Of course, if one thinks about it's not these questions, one could spend really a lifetime trying to. If we start with the very last thing rather than the beginning, it's rather. I mean, technically speaking, it's easy. ولأي شيء خلقت. For what purpose you were created. And the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا يَعْبُدُونَ. You have been created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but doesn't, every positive act in this universe is an act of worship. You till the land, you feed the hungry, you you take care of the economy. All it's the intention. It's simply Bismillah. You turn a normal action. You think it's normal. You simply turn it into a form of worship. But let's go back a little bit to the very first story in the Quran, story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, not as an individual. We talk about humanity. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed the angels that He was going to create a human being, but really it's a vicegerent, a Khalifa. And remember that the Khalifa, it's not the political office that emerged after the death of Sayyidina Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whereby Sayyidina Abu Bakr became became the first Khalifa, the first Caliph. The Khalifa here basically istikhlaf fil ard, and that would cover every single human activity. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala availed this universe for us so that we could fulfill this khilafah. And we understand from the how the angels responded. Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create someone who would cause mischief and corruption on earth? And this means that the opposite should be true. This is exactly what we should try to attain. The human being is capable of shedding blood. This is really part of our story as humanity. And it's a very sad part. We have two brothers, the two sons of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, the names, of course, Cain and Abel, but it's the two sons of Adam. And one declares his intention to kill his brother, and the other one says, if you extend your hand to kill me, I'm not going to extend my hand to kill you. And our stories of humanity since then is that some people simply decide to kill, and that's a very sad, part of our human history. So again, we can't talk about, ولأي شيء خلقت. How could you basically also worship if you don't really know whom you are worshipping? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And where did you come from to this place? We have to start somewhere. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. That's really absolutely the case. We cannot really develop who is more capable of developing dead matter, that's lifeless, sterile. This universe was born sterile, and I'm using the word born metaphorically. Talk about the Big Bang Theory, the heat in the universe. There should be absolutely nothing living, no bio. Physics becoming bio, that which is physical. Talk about dead matter becoming, biological, without an external actor. Our, it's Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. There could be no life on in this universe, on Earth. Absolutely not. There is a society, a European society that is a Western society. It's about, you know, uh, about 75 years old, and there's only one purpose for this society of scientists, biologists, is to create life, even one cell. And all these Western scholars who want to create a human cell, a living cell, really, human or not, have failed over these decades, and they will not be able. And hence is really the Quranic challenge that they cannot really uh, create anything, a fly, a mosquito. They will not be able to create a fly, or even less. As I said, these questions are very important for us to ponder, to think about. You have not been, even if you are a believer in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and that He created you, it's not in vain. It's not in vain. Really, it's not in vain. Where's your fingerprint on on history? Don't just simply show up and disappear. And then again, because you need to know what you are, you do have internally these traits which are common with animals. You must come to truly know yourself so that you know what you are, how you got here, for what purpose you were created, and wherein lies your eternal happiness or misery. And you know very well that happiness, as Sayyid Hamid Naqib al-Attas explained really in a small volume on happiness. He compared happiness in the Greek theater, in the Greek culture, and which is really Western culture, with Islam, in the Greek theater, which again later on it could be the drama, the film, the theater. It's here and now. If you talk about a tragedy in the theater, it begins a happy beginning, and then you have a sad ending. If it's really a comedy, then it has a sad beginning and a happy ending, but it's here and now. For the Muslim, it's not what really you endure in this life, and you would know that you are happy once you enter paradise. So the difficulty that you endure, the disease, the injustice, that's not indication of misery. Some people might have all the comfort, the wealth. Many examples could be given, but they were not happy. They were not happy. Some of them wealthy, socialite, comfort, property, factories, ample money, and suicide. Within you are brought together certain attributes, some of which you have in common with the beasts of the field, others with beasts of prey, and others with the angels. The beasts uh, of the field, al-bahaim, the beasts of prey, they are السباع, السبع, الصفات السبعية. Imam Ghazali, mentioned all these uh, in the Ihya, and I think the narrative in the Ihya could really unpack this sentence, because since you share all these with the animal, not all these. I'm talking about the the attributes that you share with the beast, with the beasts of prey. Uh, you're not created to be one of these beasts, one of these animals. Imam Ghazali says in the Ihya, you're not. If it's really about your size, the elephant is really larger. If it's really about how much you eat, the a bull eats more than you eat. If it's about courage, the lion is more courageous. If it's really so, he compares back and forth. Then he says, Imam Ghazali, you have not been created except to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is really ultimately when it says, and others with the angels. The spirit is your true essence, and all the rest is foreign to you. You must come to know this and recognize that all of these beings have nourishment and happiness. The spirit is your true essence. فالروح حقيقة جوهرك. And all the rest is foreign to you. Yes. And there is a mist. There's a phrase that is missed, that it's there in the Arabic. But it could be that the translator, Jazakallah khairan, used an Arabic text where this particular phrase is not there. So he said, فالروح حقيقة جوهرك وغيرها غريب منك وعارية عندك. These the other traits, are simply on loan to you, soon to be separated from that, and only your true essence would remain. Area is simply a trust, a loan. Okay. Yeah. Then Imam Ghazali, rahmallah, continues. You must come to know this and recognize that all of these beings have nourishment and happiness. The happiness of the beasts of the field lies in eating, drinking, sleeping, and mating. فإن سعادة البهائم في الأكل والشرب والنوم والنكاح. If you are one of them, then direct your efforts towards satisfying your belly and loins. The I think the your belly, okay, it's about your stomach. It's about and the loins. We talk about really the region of the sexual organs, so that one might not think it's uh, the loins as because they could be also understood as ribs. It's about the private parts because the Arabic uses al-farj directly, but loins is correct. But simply I'm clarifying the intention of the translator, inshallah. And the happiness of the beasts of prey, as-sibaa, of course, lies in ripping and tearing. In ripping, it's in, al-fatk is really not only tearing, fatk is really killing. Yes. The happiness of the beasts of prey lies in ripping and tearing, or rather it's killing, while the happiness of the devils lies in deceit. Evil, wicked plots. If you are one of them, then do as they do. The happiness of the angels lies in witnessing the beauty of the divine presence, and they are impervious to anger or appetite. If you are of the stuff of angels, then strive to know your origin until you discern the path to the divine presence. Al-Hadra al-Ilahiyya, and come to witness God's majesty and beauty. Al-Jalalu wal-Jamal. By this means you will free yourself from the chains of appetite and anger, and learn the reason for which these attributes were instilled in you. God did not create them for you to be their captive, but to serve you and aid you upon the journey that lies ahead of you. They are at your service. It's not that you serve them, they are at your service in accordance with revelation, with proper adab. So God did not create them for you to be their captive, but to serve you and aid you upon the journey that lies ahead of you. You must make one of them your mount and the other your weapon, so that you may set out hunting for your happiness. So you use them to hunt. When you attain your purpose, plant both feet firmly upon it. And return to the place where your happiness lies. That is the abode of those chosen for the divine presence, while ordinary believers will have their abode in one degree or another of paradise. فإذا بلغت غرضك فقاوم بها تحت قدميك. Plant both feet firmly upon it. Put them under control. And the very last sentence before we conclude for this session, بإذن you must learn these truths, so that little by little you may come to know yourself. One who does not learn them will have nothing but the husk, and God will remain veiled from him. If you are satisfied with husks, there is no lub for you. Only the superficial things, appearances. What a beautiful text. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow with the outer shell and the inner meaning, or as in the Arabic subtitle says, فصل كيف تعرف نفسك, a chapter on how to know yourself. So you need to know yourself, but how to know yourself. So until tomorrow inshallah, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.